Welcome in. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about some of the market money and other things that actually move things around today. And we're going to talk about this nice little news article that came out today with NVIDIA jumping in with Corning Glass. And we're going to take a look at Corning Glass, if that's the stock we want to be investing in. Take a look at NVIDIA itself. Just why are they getting into this? Why do they care about fiber optics so much? We'll get into AMD as well today. And we'll even look at Coinbase. I got Coinbase on the chart here as well. So we'll dig into that and just talk about the disruptor and just what's happening with that disruptor itself and how they're housing a little bit of a AI revolution there. So we're going to be talking a lot about AI and where the moves are happening right now. So this is the $2 billion, or maybe you could just even call it a $3 billion handshake between NVIDIA and Corning Glass. If you don't know, Corning Glass is the maker of glass for like your iPhone. And they also, surprisingly, are very good at optics and fiber optics for making cables. And as we all know, light travels fast. And if you can put it into a fiber optic cable, it's not going to degrade and you'll have faster throughput. So NVIDIA jumps in with them and say, hey, we're going to start investing and we're going to get in and we're going to also help make 3,000 new jobs. We're going to put 3 new plants in North Carolina and in Texas. And we're going to help build glass, more fiber optics, more cables, and we're going to start putting those into our server racks. Amazing. Why do you want to have fiber optics like this in a server rack? Here's the cool thing about the Vera Rubin server rack that's going to be the next generation of what NVIDIA brings to market. Right now, we're looking at Blackwell. That's the one everyone's using, and Vera Rubin is coming down the pipe. If you're interested in getting in on Vera Rubin, or I guess you could just call it the Rubin rack, you want to have exposure to NVIDIA and CoreWeave. CoreWeave is jumping ahead. They got a big purchase of Rubin server racks coming down the pipe. And they're going to be renting out and making that, renting out that server rack and making it available to anyone who wants to jump in and have the latest and greatest AI server rack. As you can imagine, it's difficult to stay ahead of the curve. And so CoreWeave has kind of carved out their own little niche, and they're going to have, hey, we're going to always have the latest and greatest servers available, and we'll take that on. We'll make sure that we're front of the line and ahead of the curve when it comes to servers. Now, if you're going back to the name of Vera Rubin, what does it mean? Well, Vera is the CPU that NVIDIA has created for this, and Rubin is the GPU in there. So you put it together, you got the Vera Rubin rack. This is cool. So there's 5,000 copper cables in a Vera Rubin server rack. So when you're thinking about buying, hey, I want to go buy the latest Rubin GPU, it doesn't really work like that. You have to buy the entire rack. As you look here in this image here, that's about 7, 8 racks that are servers there. So you buy one rack at a time. They're the size of a fridge. And you pop that in and they consume a lot of power. They put out a lot of heat, and they have apparently 5,000 copper cables in one rack. So you got 8 racks here. You got 40,000 odd copper cables. If you put in fiber optics instead, you're going to use 20 times less power, and you're going to have less heat as well. As you can probably imagine, if you're using less power, you're going to have less heat. And apparently, I didn't know this, but after 3 meters, copper signals begin to degrade. I didn't know it was that short. I thought you could go much longer distance. So anyways, with fiber optics, you're not going to have that same degradation of signal. And then some other metrics there about Corning as you read through there. But that's the reason why you want to have fiber optics. And so NVIDIA is saying, hey, that's going to be the next incremental improvement for AI and for server racks. Let's get fiber optics, put it in, and we're going to have better throughput. We can probably overclock or push the computers and the processors harder and faster because we have less heat being dissipated from the cables, less power. We can put more power, more heat into the GPUs themselves. So pretty cool there. So let's get into some charts here to get a little break here from the presentation, go on to the side, do some charting here. What I'd like to do first off, and let's just jump into NVIDIA here first. That's going to be our first chart of the day. So we'll bring up, I want a little bit of a better, there we go. That's a little better. You can see my face a little better. Got my Boring Company cap on. Love Boring Company. Great Great company. Amazing. Okay. NVIDIA. So this is the chart here with NVIDIA. They're trading at 207.83. If you're a CFU member, you know that we actually right now have the 207.50 covered call out here on NVIDIA. So we have sold that. And we are betting that NVIDIA won't go above 207.50 by, I think it's the middle of May there, May 15th. So yeah, we're kind of up against that covered call right now. No to worry. If we need to, we can easily roll it out and up. There's sufficient premium at all times on NVIDIA that we can easily fund that going forward here. So that's the white line here, the 207.50. So on the news that NVIDIA is going to be purchasing equity and investing in with Corning Glass, that's the bump that we got there. This is the day chart, and that's the green candle that we got from today. NVIDIA is trading above the 50 and the 200-day moving average. That's 185 is the support level that we have there, using that 200-day moving average there. If we got down to the 170 area, that would be very strong support. Last time they were down there, they had a very strong bid and jumped up almost immediately from there. So with NVIDIA as well, too, we have a change of character up here near the top. So this is starting to put in some bullish formations. So if we do have to roll our covered call up and out, we will be making a lot of room at the top here. We want to get into the 220 or 225 area so we can get up ahead and on top of this break of character here. That's a bullish indicator as it went through and it broke through the previous high that we had, and it did so with a wide body candle. That's a strong indicator that the market has no hesitation to push above and go into that, what was it, 217 area there. So good indicator that we could be getting back up in there and testing that previous high that we had back on April 27th. Now, while we're here, let's jump over to Corning Glass. So what's interesting is the equity stake that NVIDIA purchased in Corning was agreed upon at $180. Plus, they also have some additional shares that they can buy for warrants or preconceived price on that. And so, not surprising, you see Corning trading at 181.57 here. This would be a great area if you have shares in Corning. This would be a great area right up in here to sell a covered call, or if you wanted to, I'd even venture in doing a call credit spread on this. It could be a little enthusiastic, so to speak, on this, and we haven't seen it play out. Yeah, they're going to invest and they're going to get some new plants, but this might be a little too early for this. So if I could sell maybe the 200 covered call or the 200 call credit spread and slap the 205 on top of that for my hedge, I'd like to see that happen. See if it can come back and test this gap that it made up in here first, so we can see some fluidity come through in the market, support that price through here, and then you'd be ready to do a report and see how they're doing and see if they confirm that yes, the plant and the expectations with NVIDIA are coming to fruition. All right, let's keep going. Let's get it up there. All right, back to. All right, here we go. So AMD reported earnings yesterday and they blew it away. They just did phenomenal. I'm pulling out the chart up here on my side monitor, and they put in They put in $66. They went up 18.5%. Just an amazing move. They're smashing it. Their revenue is up 38% year over year. They increased their year guidance for 2026. They guided out to 11.2 billion. That's a 10% increase over the last quarter. And Goldman Sachs, our buddies over there, are putting them at a 450 price target. Right now, you're trading at 421. So, you got another $30 to go there before Goldman says, hey, that's our price target. And what's interesting, too, is they got a nice big upgrade from them as well on this. And Lisa Su, the nice CEO over there at AMD, said agents are driving tremendous demand. A structural shift is in our business right now going forward. They're the next player beside NVIDIA. They're making great chips and they're competing head to head. It's amazing seeing these companies battle it out. Intel, AMD, Broadcom, NVIDIA, the list goes on, and they're just all crushing it and doing fantastic. CapEx for AI is the play right now. You want to get in on semis. If you want to get in on an ETF that has them all, or get into an ETF like chat, by Roundhill, where they invest actively in AI, and that ETF has done phenomenally well. All right, let's jump in. We got AMD up next on the charts. Okay, AMD, here you go. This is your moment to shine. We'll just remove these previous lines as they are now completely irrelevant. AMD, you're just putting in some serious pain to the shorts. Back on a month ago, let's go April 6th, you were priced at $206. You've 1x it up from there. So you're now at 421 and you got a week high up here. You've got a real nice gap here to fill in. Your 200-day and this is your 50-day and your 200-day moving average are being destroyed and completely being reset. I get it. You're just smashing it. So, I would have said through here that you needed to pull back and then you came back up again. The bullish read on this is just phenomenal. I'd hesitate to put any bearish move up on here. If I had shares in AMD, I would definitely sell a covered call on this. You could probably get some really juicy premiums right here if you sold the 440 or the 460 covered call on AMD. Hey man, a month ago you were at $200. So if you're able to be forced to sell at 440 or 460 on your AMD shares, please, you're not disappointed in getting a 100% return in a month on your AMD shares, and you likely have something that you bought at like 113 or 110. You're going to be happy if you're forced, quote unquote, come on, to sell at 460 or 440. So slap a covered call on that. If you don't have a position and you still like that thesis, then you could sell the 450 call and then slap a hedge up above that and do a call credit spread in that there. I would definitely not do an iron condor. There's nothing in here that says a sideways move. This is all directional play on AMD. You're either going to keep running up like a Micron or you're going to come crashing down like, what was that stock? It was Car. Sorry. Car was another one that just like, what the? You want to look at, what was the car? Yeah, Avis. Yeah. What? Yeah. See, this is what happens when I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to go really good. The shorts got squeezed through here and then pop. It just complete Eiffel Tower and then right back down to reality there. So, this is the kind of pattern you want to be looking out for. This is definite. I don't know, like, this is some, it was two hedge funds that were slamming each other and looking for trying to cover their shorts. And they had some basic metrics that said, hey, the company's got some vitality, get into it now. And then this is a short squeeze right here. You can see it there. All right. Lisa Sue, thank you for making the market move and rewarding your AMD shareholders. Yeah, the disruptor, you're getting disrupted yourself. Well done. So Coinbase comes out today and they said, we're going to lay off 700 employees. We're going to lay off 14% of our staff. Why is that? Well, we don't need them anymore. Why? Oh, AI is coming through and it's disrupting and it's making it so that their engineers can ship in days what used to be taking a team weeks to complete. So faster, likely even better code, and they're able to do it in less time with less people. So yeah, we don't need 700 of you. Go away, go find work somewhere else. Go work for Claude. That might work out for you, or I guess Anthropic. That reminds me. I need to do a presentation on how could you invest in Anthropic. There is a way that you can sneak your way in and get some private shares and private exposure to Anthropic. So hopefully I'll get to that this week and we can get in on that. But I thought that was really interesting that you're not doing so hot. Or sorry, you're now adopting AI at a crypto exchange, and also too, like as TradFi jumps in and starts to embrace crypto, like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, et cetera, as those guys jump in on this, they're going to start offering methods and ways to get crypto exposure. And you don't need to have a crypto exchange. And we're seeing all these trash coins, you know what they're really called? I just don't want to swear. You get all these trash coins that are just being put out to pasture anyways. And it was kind of just gravitating to Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And then it's like, these are the dogs. One of them's going to win out and might as well just get exposure to all of them. Well, there's ETFs. I buy Bitcoin every single day and I just need it to be simple and easy to do. It's in my brokerage. I just buy IBIT. I don't need Coinbase. I don't need all these like weird crypto exchanges. I love Bitcoin. I love crypto, but I don't need to have this like thing on a cold wallet or with a 12 seed passphrase. Just give me the ETF and I can sell covered calls and cash your puts on it and keep it going. So sorry, buddy, you got disrupted. Now, if you want to look at the Coinbase chart, we can do that for a little bit here. I got Coinbase ready to go. See, you're coming through here. See, we were talking about a sideways market there that you wouldn't want to put an iron condor on. AMD, you could actually do it here. If I was going to do an iron condor here, what I would do is I would wait for it to go up into this area here. That'd be the 220 area. And then I would love to be selling the covered calls. Sorry, not covered calls, the call credit spread wing of the iron condor. I'd want to be doing it up here where we had previous supply. People were more than willing to sell their Coinbase, yeah, their Coinbase shares. Coinbase up in here. And then, so depending on where she's going to go. So Coinbase, are you going to come back down? Are you going to come back and test your 50-day moving average, or are you going to start going up to your 200-day moving average? Whichever one you do, I'm going to sell the opposite wing. So if you come down into here, I'm going to be selling a put credit spread. I would love if I could get some good credit down here on the 140 area. So 150, 140 area where I want to have my put credit spread, try and sell that a month out. And then wherever I get that a month out, then I'm starting looking at, hey, where can I get my call credit spread above? If I don't get it, I don't get it. But if I do, and I'm able to get, that would be a great trade and a natural iron condor play that you could see there. Look at Bitcoin, 81,000. Love it. Keep going, Bitcoin. You got it. Look at this. I love it. US attacks Iran back here. And that was almost a low, right? Like that was kind of the system low. And now look at us continue to rise up, and Bitcoin is doing fantastic. Love to see it. All right. The number nobody's talking about. So I love this. So why are stocks so expensive? I don't know, man. You may not be totally accurate on that in that they are expensive. 13.4% is the S&P 500 Q1 net profit margin. That's a metric that not a lot of guys are looking at, but I found it. That's the all-time record. That is the highest since FactSheet started tracking that since 2009. Cool, right? Alphabet, April, 34%. Best month ever since 2004. Meg 7 share of S&P 500 is 55%. 7 companies. 55% of the S&P 500 is occupied by the big 7. Tech Q1 margin, 29% up from 25% year over year. That is why you like to have tech. That's why you want to have that exposure. Not only are they innovating and disrupting everything, but their profit margin is fantastic. And profit margin is where it's at. It gives you a lot of free cash flow, and you can decide where you want to do. You want to do some investing. You want to pay off debt or buy back shares. You definitely want to have good profit margin. And everything here, if you peel this back just a little bit, they're all interrelated. You got the Mag 7, which is essentially tech shares. They dominate 55%. So they bring their massive profit margin in, and that gets them to lift up the S&P 500 up to 13.4%. Crazy. Oil, you're down 10%. So West Texas Intermediate went from $100 down to $90 on news that we could be finishing off this Iran war, the Strait of Hormuz, which, come on, be honest. Did you know about the Strait of Hormuz 2 months ago? No. But now we all do. And we all like to hear about what ships are going through and what's not. 25% of the world's seaborne oil trade goes through this Strait of Hormuz. They're moving close to 20 million barrels a day, and now we're down to just a trickle, and we got some land mines some ocean mines that are in there about to blow up. I can imagine, imagine a tanker goes through, hits a mine, blows up, and then you got an oil spill in the strait. Man, you would have the wrath of the world come down on you, Iran. I don't know why you're doing this. Get those mines out, open the strait, negotiate. Let's get this thing settled and taken care of, and let's let the world get back to normal. Bitcoin reclaims 82,000. That was back on, I think, Sunday night. We had 82,000. No, yesterday, actually. We had that yesterday. My mistake. 82,000 yesterday. That's the highest since January 31. Amazing. We're back in it, boys. And keep on DCAing into Bitcoin. Just a little bit, even if it's $10, you got fractional shares on IBIT, just a little bit every single day, build that foundation, DCA in, Bitcoin should do well long term. We're on the last 1 million Bitcoin that will ever be mined. And we want to have a piece of that. Morgan Stanley just jumped in and launched their crypto trading seat. Like just what we were talking about with Coinbase, is going to go against you, Coinbase. You got one of the TradFi boys coming in and taking away some of that cut. I definitely wouldn't want to be long on coin. I would sell that position and move into something more like a TradFi exposure if you think it's going to continue to go, or I would just do straight Bitcoin if you want to have some of that crypto exposure, or keep on getting into some of the AI names that you think are going to be profitable going forward. Those are the two trades I see going forward with us: is semis, memory, networking equipment, anything to do and enable AI. It's going to continue to disrupt industries across the board and produce fantastic returns on early buyers into these names. If you would like to know more about the names that we're tracking and that we're trading at CFU, jump on over to joincfu.com. We have trade alerts. We have real-time trade alerts that are generated from our real 6 Pro traders. They are not AI generated, and you can follow in and see what they're seeing and trade along with them. We do have system trades as well too, which follow a very systematic way of trading. It's more mathematical and more interrelated with the stock moves and technical indicators that we have. And those follow a very systematic way of trading and producing profits and income for our traders and for our members. If you'd like to learn more about CFU, jump on over, joincfu.com. We have a Discord, we have apps, we have a website, we have a blog, we have videos that you're watching. And we're here for you. We're here to help you get profitable, better trading, and get financial freedom. If that sounds like something you'd like to learn more about, jump on over, joincfu.com. I'll see you later. Bye.